Hey, it's Doreca. I'm back with you again. I had something happen to me today, actually. I went shopping with my little girl. She's 4. And we went to buy her a dress. It was so funny because it made me think about so much of how we know ourselves and what works for us. And I remember picking at several dresses and showing her, and she would say, "That's not fancy enough," or I feel like that's for older girls, that's not really for me," or I have something similar. And she ended up choosing just one white dress, and she said, "I love this one," and she knew that was the dress for her. And it just made me think about my own wardrobe, which I've been sorting out lately, that I had so many clothes that I bought because I was in a certain mood on that day and felt like they would be nice, but then ended up not really wearing them that much. I didn't really wear them too much. And I feel like I'm not really alone in that. We tend to be in a certain state, we make a purchase, and we end up maybe not using it as much, not utilizing it as much, and it ends up being not a good fit for us simply because we didn't think enough when we made the purchase. And the reason I'm highlighting this is because I want to talk about choosing a course. So when you're trying to buy a mastermind or a blueprint, because I am a great advocate for self-education. I have been in self-development for many years. I remember the first book that really ignited this journey for me, I read it when I was 17, and maybe some of you may actually know this book. It's titled The Road Less Traveled. And I remember the thing that I remember the most from that book was delaying gratification. And I used that through many years of studying and working hard to remember you can delay the gratification. Not everything has to come now. So that was always a really good philosophy to keep in mind. But I want to highlight this issue of when we make choices for when we're choosing a mastermind, a course, or a blueprint for our businesses, do we evaluate enough about the person offering the course to who we are? How much we align to where they are to where we want to go? Because it could be that they have done well in the area of business that we want to go into. I know I have purchased lately a lot of courses that I'm actually doing. So this has been a thinking of mine too, because I had to think about the people I was purchasing the course from and their aspiration and their values, the direction they took, and what their thinking was, because that's the context to how they came about with putting together their course or their mastermind, if that's what it is, or their blueprint, whatever they may be calling it. Because the journey they took really influences what they put into. I'll give you an example. I've been following a course from a person who advocates a lot for meditation and keeping a journal and so forth. I find it really easy to follow his course because a lot of what he's teaching involves a lot of contemplating, deep thinking, and I am in that place in my life right now. So our values and our ways of thinking really align, and therefore I have been finding it very, very valuable. So let's say I wasn't that sort of a person and I didn't really like keeping a journal. I didn't really have capabilities to think really deeply about things. I don't believe I would have enjoyed that course as much as I have, or I would have gotten out of that course as much as I have. And that's why I think is really important, not just on the area of business that we see the person being in and therefore feeling that course is relevant, but seeing the person themselves and their walk of life how they conduct their day to day, whether that aligns to who we are or not. I couldn't, for example, find very valuable or enjoy buying a course from someone who has a very long to-do list. So each day, if there was a long list of things to do, I would find that stressful. I like to be creative in my pursuit in things. I don't like things to be so descriptive for me. I like to be given a direction and to figure out how to walk about within that, having a little flexibility. Not that we can't do that when it's not that way inclined. I think we are capable of going against that. But if we have to work too far against what the course is, are we really utilizing it to the full? So I just want to jump on today really quickly to kind of bring that up and encourage you to think about that, because my experience with my daughter really just made me realize, even at a young age, you can really know yourself and know the things that work for you and the things that maybe don't, and being able to weed those out and say, that works for me, that wouldn't. I can see myself use that here and maybe I wouldn't. And especially if we're investing a lot of money into developing ourselves and developing our businesses, it's really worth thinking about those deep underlying issues that go beyond just the course or beyond just the person who created the course. We have to understand their context at the time in which they created it, and that will really either resonate with us or maybe not so much. And it's not just the end results of how they got to where they are at the time when they created it, at who they are as a person, which might or might not change too much along the way, can really affect how much they put out and whether those things really align to who we are. So more than what we do, my encouragement on this channel is always to embrace the being more than the doing. So I will encourage that again today. Go out there, embrace your day, and just focus on the being than the doing. Okay, take care now. Bye bye.